Welcome back to the WMMA Today podcast with Drake Riggs and me, Steve King. On this 14th episode, we will be talking about the UFC Vegas 9 recap, some news, some fight news, of course, always fight news, a lot of previews. So let's just get started with it right now with the UFC Vegas 9 recap. So Viviane Araujo defeated Montana De La Rosa via unanimous decision. It was a good fight. It was a good scrap.
Yeah, it was a very good one, and more more than anything, a good performance by Viviane and a very, very, very stunning, shocking game plan and approach from Montana. Completely the opposite of what we expected.
Crazy. But that's why she lost the fight.
Yeah, no, exactly. The lack of wrestling, absolutely. Right. It was incredible. Just like, I don't know. It's one of 6 takedowns. I feel like she didn't even attempt 6 takedowns, like on the stats here. And then I don't even remember her getting that one in the first round. Oh wait, actually, it was really quick though, I think.
Yeah. She didn't have her down.
All the stats on this are surprising. Like the total strikes of Montana even landing that much. But it was obvious who was doing more damage and landing better, more effectively with the strikes and everything. The leg kick was gorgeous from Viviane. Those first 2 rounds kind of abandoned it as the fight went on, but either way, it was pretty much a clean sweep. I was a little surprised to see, a judge gave Montana a round. Even thought all 3 were pretty clear.
Maybe the second, I guess. Maybe the second.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people were saying, and the commentary was pretty off here too.
Like, honestly, I thought the Viviane probably won all 3 rounds. I mean, she was pretty much dominant. I mean, Montana had her periods where she landed where she was really good. But Viviane was just, it was her fight. Montana let Viviane have her fight, just the way that she likes it. Which, like you said, going back to totally surprised that Montana didn't go for the takedowns. That is her bread and butter. Like, why wouldn't you? Viviane is obviously a striker. She obviously has a ton of power. I mean, she cut her nose open and had her bleeding in the first round. And she was screwed. Montana was screwed, breathing hard through the rest of the fight. That was Viviane's power.
Yeah, like, it's funny. Like, I understand, maybe wanted to try, of course she's been working on her strike and everything. That was pretty obvious, but it wasn't enough, clearly. So, like, I get, like, trying to want to feel things out in the first round. But after you realize it didn't go so well, spam what your strength is, what you should have mixed in the first place. But, like,
you would think in the second round, okay, look, I got pieced up a little bit in the first round. All right, I'm going to try to take this bitch to the ground now. I'm gonna make it my fight. She didn't do it at all.
Yeah,
didn't do it at all. And I mean, maybe that's her youngness. Kind of. She wanted to stand and bang, and she wanted to prove herself. I don't know, but gotta have a game plan like that against such a powerful striker that Viviane is.
Yeah, it was definitely. The best way to put it is shocking from Montana, but the funny thing is I also mentioned, like, we knew that the question marks around Viviane were her grappling defense and if she could handle that and if it would take a toll on her gas tank. So the gas tank and the grappling defense, we didn't get to see those tested, unfortunately. So didn't get too many answers in that regard, but she still did her thing. And I saw mentions of people saying JoJo next. I like that fight. I think that's perfect matchmaking.
Love it. I said that pretty much right after the fight, right after Viviane's fight. I love that fight.
Yep. I think that is the one to do it. As for Montana, not quite sure, but I think she'll rebound.
I mean, she's still ranked. Yeah. She is ranked number 12. Oh, she switched spots with Alexis Davis, the person who doesn't fight.
Ah, Oh, of course.
Went up to 11. Montana De La Rosa went down to 12. Viviani went up 1. Roxanne Modafari dropped 1, even though she has a fight coming up. She wasn't even able to prove herself that she's not worthy of the 7th ranking. Like, oh fuck. Here we go with the stupid ass fucking nonsense that the UFC rankings are.
That is hilarious and totally rankings. That's what that is. So, yeah, that was our one fight. We had one fight last week, and we got 7 this week. Everybody,
crazy amount of fights. All right, news. Claudia Gadelha is out. She will be taking on Yan Xiaonan, but she was injured, right?
Yeah, knee
and
injury.
It got rebooked, and then it just got rebooked to November 9th.
Oh, wrong one. Yep, exactly. That is just pushing back the fight, which, I'm fine with. Well, I mean, it sucks that we have to wait to see, Xiaonan get back in there a little bit longer. It sucks for her as well, but hey, still gets this fight. This is kind of the fight that, needs to happen in terms of, they were already booked and everything. They got their winning streaks and all that. So, yeah, I'm fine with it still happening. Sucks that it's later, but at least we know that Jan has somebody. That's pretty much the thing there.
Yeah. So. Yep. I mean, we got rebooked for just a month later.
Exactly. So, all right, we'll move on.
All right. Well, if you know anything about me, I don't like Jacare that much. And the cockroach has returned. After her last fight, she was gonna retire. I thought, or get cut or whatever. She was cut.
Yes.
And now she's back, like the little cockroach that she is. She'll be taking on Wu Yanan on December 5th. Hopefully this is it. I love that. I love that meme.
Like that meme? I thought that was perfect.
Yep.
So, yeah, apparently
reappearing.
What's that?
She just keeps reappearing. Like she doesn't fucking go away.
Yep, definitely. But apparently this will be the end. And this is my funny theory on this, right? Is that, okay, she said that, so they released her, obviously, right? So released her, they were done with her, rightfully so and all that. She said, like, all right, I'm going to retire. You guys, come on. Why don't you bring me back for one more fight? Watch, she gets in, and if she wins, she's not retiring.
Right.
Guarantee it.
Yeah. It's the cockroach thing. She's just going to keep fucking reappearing until somebody finally fatalities her ass. God. Watch, we're going to see her fight Amanda Nunes.
That would be pretty hilarious.
I mean,
if Holly wins, I wouldn't be mad at it. Might as well just give her somebody.
Crazy. Ridiculous. Fucking ridiculous, this lady.
As for this fight, though, we got location TBD here, and we had it on the last bit of news, and I wanted to mention this, that it's most likely the Apex because, we know what the stretch is for the Fight Island return now from 253 to 254. So you got to assume everything after 254 is back to the Apex, even though it's not been announced yet. So, like, right here says TBD on this one, but it's probably the Apex. It has to be, right? So there is that note, and then, as for this matchup, Wu Yanan, I don't know if it is. Let me see. I have a record up here. If it's her. Okay, I was gonna say bantamweight debut. It doesn't. She's fought at featherweight before, so that's something I didn't realize. I guess the Mueller fight was her flyweight debut, and she looked very good in that fight. Obviously, got a first round armbar in Beijing, and then that split decision loss to Mizuki in her last fight, which was a pretty fun close one. But Mizuki was the rightful winner there. I still think that Wu is a better fighter than Betch, though, so she should be fine here. I don't think she'll be too outsized because she was a pretty big flyweight anyway, and then obviously has fought in heavier divisions in the past. So yeah, it's a whatever matchup, I guess. It's good for Wu getting back at bantamweight and beating a name potentially, and then Betch is just like, we don't need to think too far ahead with that. I don't think, even if she wins, this is like trolling. She wins.
She's got to go.
As mentioned,
she just has to go. She annoys the fuck out of me.
Yeah, it is what it is, brother. But this is an interesting one. I want to know what you think about this.
Yeah, Liana Jojua and Miranda Maverick were added to UFC 254. That's on October 25th in Abu Dhabi. That's a really good fight. I mean, I think that the way that Jojua won her last fight, she might be able to hang with Maverick. I don't think I would have thought that prior to that win, but now it's like, well, I mean, how real is she? Because this is going to be a big test for her.
Oh yeah, no, I like that assessment definitely. But the thing is, like, Belbita's not Maverick, right?
Right.
Maverick's proven to be, a bit better than Belbita.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be interesting. And I mean, stylistically is where it's the most interesting, because like we were watching, that Belbita Jojua fight. Belbita doing just fine stand up, on the striking. She hurts Jojua and they go to the ground because Belbita decides to follow her there instead of letting her, stay or go for ground and pound, and ends up getting her arm caught. Maverick is got a great pressure game, and can smash people on the ground. Her striking isn't bad either, but I think that, safe to say her grappling is a little bit better. Her ground and pound that's where most of her damage comes from. But I mean, Jojo is not really that good of a striker whatsoever, so Maverick should still be favored there in the striking.
She definitely should be favored.
And I mean, yeah, just overall, she's the better fighter so far from what we've seen. But yeah, I mean, Jojo obviously sneaky with the submissions like we saw. So, and the thing is, I think Maverick's confident enough in her abilities and defense and all that to, play around down there. So that makes it interesting. But obviously, I think you have to favor Maverick early, and especially as, she's going to be extra hungry after missing out on what should have been her debut a couple weeks ago or a month ago now, a while. Oh, shit. So,
yep.
Yeah, that's a good one for that pay-per-view, though.
Yeah. Good fight. Good pay-per-view fight especially for those two girls. They're on a big pay-per-view, so they're going to be seen by a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And did you see that those bastard Europeans are gonna fuck up our viewing pleasure?
But it's gonna be just a little bit earlier, right? Midday.
Yeah.
That was
for us. It's gonna be like
Europeans.
For us, by the way, half of my family is a bastard European family.
You can say that.
I mean,
before we offend, sorry, if Stamina gets here.
European fans again, like I did on Twitter.
Stamina comes here. Gets in.
Man, those Europeans, they really fucking came for my throat.
Did they?
Oh, yeah, they sure did.
Amazing.
Whatever.
All right, so from one fun flyweight prospect battle to
a not so decent,
little bit opposite of that.
Yeah, Rachel Ostrowski. I mean, there's Rachel Ostrowski. Obviously, people are going to tune in because it's Rachel Ostrowski, and she will be taking on Gina Mazzani on November 28th. Again, in November, most likely the Apex, right?
Yep. Has to be, I would imagine.
Yep.
And I mean, they're both Americans anyway, so this is you have to think, or at least you should have this assumption, especially from Mazzani, that this is, loser leaves town match for sure. I mean, it's funny because like I feel like people think Rachel's a little bit worse than I do, and I mean, don't get it wrong, she's not amazing or anything, but there was a point where she was, a really good prospect. I think we all saw that in Invicta, but just kind of came short. Obviously against Andrea Lee, which that one is fair. That was her second career loss, her first Invicta loss. And then, gets a win and kind of got upset by Christine Ferreira. I don't know if you remember that, not that upset, but that TKO. which was kind of shocking. And it was a competitive fight too. And then she gets in through the Ultimate Fighter. It looks all right there. Like never looks too amazing. Is always in pretty competitive fights. So she's like good enough to make things competitive, but I don't know, loses to kind of fighters she should. So like the Montana loss that she had, 2018 now, and then the Paige Van Zandt loss. She was actually beating Paige clearly that whole fight, and then just kind of got caught towards the end, and she hasn't fought since then, which was a long time ago now. Not a long time ago, but January of last year. So that's, I guess that's been a while. And then Gina Mazzani here. She's going down to flyweight, which I think is probably the most interesting thing about this because she's a pretty good sized bantamweight, I would say.
Yeah, she's big. She'll be big for flyweight.
Yeah, so I mean that's an interesting thing to look at, and coming off of obviously that starching against Julia Avila, 1-3 in her last 4 in the UFC. It's like, well, I mean that one win was out of the UFC actually, so on a 3-fight losing streak in the UFC, but she came back as a late replacement in that Julia Avila fight, and now we are here. I think that it'll
underwhelming fight. Like it's pretty much for me. It's just meh. Like I'm not into it.
Yeah, I mean I think it'll be pretty fun. Like just stylistically, you look at these girls and then the factor that they really should feel like their backs are against the wall. I mean, she's already got a losing record, so like you got to think that this has to be it. You would think like I could see them keeping her just because you could make the marketability factor.
Marketable, yeah.
But it's like if she's not winning and anything like that, she already has a losing record. Like I said, she's probably the only fighter in the UFC right now who still has a below 500 record, let alone a 500 one. So. I mean, it's interesting for what it is, I guess, but it's like it really means nothing aside from seeing who will save their job, right? I mean, just to put it bluntly.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's just it's not. I think it's just a throw in their fight. Like I think they probably wanted to get Ostrowski a fight.
Yeah. And I could easily see this being another situation where Ostrowski is doing pretty good, early on, and then, Mazzani kind of comes back. I think that, if she can make the cut nicely, she definitely should be maybe even favored in this fight. Like, we'll see. We'll see.
I would favor Mazzani for sure. I would. I mean, Ostrowski hasn't really shown a lot in her fights.
And she does better when she's able to bully people too, and I don't know how much she'll be able to do that.
She's not going to be able to bully Gina Mazzani. She's going to be way too big.
Yeah, yep, pretty much. I hear you there. And all right, Stamina. Well, I wasn't the one bashing on Europe, but thanks for joining us, buddy.
Europe is a somewhat sore topic in this country right now. Drake, say what the fuck you like. Yeah, I mean, I do. Say what the fuck I like anyway.
Yeah, we always do. We always do.
Yeah.
And okay, you told me you had something ready for this one, so say what you like, my man.
Carla Esparza will be taking on Amanda Rebus at UFC 256 in December. Assuming it's in Las Vegas again. It's got to be in Las Vegas, right?
Yeah.
Okay, look, Carla Esparza, she should be fighting up and not down. You can make a case that she should get a title shot at this point. I mean, she's ranked number 7 right now. Rose Namajunas is ranked number 1. We don't know what's going on with her. We don't know what's going on with the champ, Weili Zhang, actually. We haven't heard shit. She hasn't fought since March. We haven't heard anything at all. Jessica Andrade is fighting Chikazian at flyweight, right?
Yep, leaving the division.
Tatiana Suarez, ranked number 3, is out as far as we know. Joanna Jacek is ranked number 4. We don't know what's going on with her. She can make a case for herself getting a rematch because of how amazing she did in that fight against Weili Zhang back in March. Nina Ansroff, still ranked, pregnant. Gonna have a baby in December when this fight takes place. Claudia Gadelha is, again, she's going to take on
Joanne.
Yan Jianan. Now Carla Esparza, ranked number 7. Amanda Rebus is ranked number 12. Why would Carla Esparza's team even agree to this? I know Carla Esparza probably thinks she's beatable. I'm gonna derail this hype train like I fucking derail everybody because of my wrestling, because of, I'm a former champion. I'm a good fighter. I should be fighting for a championship. That's what I think should be going through their mind right now. She should be fighting for a championship, not Amanda Rebus, who's ranked number 12. Amanda Rebus fighting up makes all the sense in the world. I mean, she is literally the hype train that there of any female fighter in the UFC right now. She's an absolute beast. This is a very hard fight for Carla Esparza. I'm a massive fan of Carla Esparza. I have been for a long time. This is not a good fight for Carla Esparza. It's really a shitty fight for Carla Esparza. Amanda Rebus is a monster.
So
Bad fight.
I just had I had an epiphany of sorts, just a realization here, I think, which kind of might explain some things a little bit better. I just realized that Carla Esparza, she is under Sucker Punch management. So that's the same management as Weili and Rose. Those three are all managed by the same people. So that makes me think that, okay, obviously Carla was probably talking like, all right, can we, maybe can we try and make the title fight happen? I think I deserve it for her in a row. Why wouldn't she go that route first? But the fact that they were willing to do this so easily makes you think that, okay, they must be working on Weili and Rose right now, or something else with Weili.
Or Joanna again. Yeah, they have to be. I mean, you and I talked about this the other day through text. Weili Zhang has to have a fight coming up soon. Yeah. She hasn't fought since March. She wants to be active. She has stated that she wants to be an active champion. She wants to fight in her division and then move up to Valentina at some point.
Yeah.
She needs to fight this year at some point, right? I mean, we're in September now. We only have October, November, December, and they're filling up these cards already.
Yeah, but I think it's got to be they're probably getting close to the Rose fight. I mean, that's the only, now that I didn't think about that till now about the, how they're all under the same umbrella there with the management. So I think that's probably a good explanation for that. But, even then it's like, man, Carla versus Rebus, like if that's the one you're going for, that seems weird. You could have waited for, I don't know, I don't have the rankings up myself, but I feel like something better for her could have opened up rankings wise. But I mean, I guess at the same time, it's like knocking off Rebus. That's not a bad thing.
That's literally the only thing that I see about this fight is
the upside to it.
Just knocking off Rebus.
Knocking off Rebus, going on a 5-fight winning streak to, further solidify that, claim to another title shot. And it's funny, I think that they're both pretty bad matchups for each other. You said that this is a, very tough fight for Carla, and, I can totally understand that. Of course, in the striking, Rebus is going to have the advantage there. Then she's very lethal on the ground, has great top control, but I don't think she'll be able to get on top of Carla, at least via takedowns. Maybe she can sweep her or something.
With Carla's wrestling pedigree, she shouldn't be able to get on top of Carla.
Yeah, but I think that there's definite. I mean, of course, there's possibility for Rebus getting spoiled here. Is a big step up compared to going from what her Paige was her last fight. Yeah, it's ridiculous to think that she's going from Paige to Carla. That's kind of crazy.
Paige, the fighter who the UFC didn't even want to resign to Carla Esparza, former champion, ranked number 7.
Should be higher. So
should be higher, but that whole top half is stagnant.
Too much. Yeah.
It's stagnant.
Yeah.
Okay, so Life After Death said, I wouldn't mind a strawweight mini tournament. Fighters ranked from 5 to 10 would be something to keep the division interesting. Right. But
I've been saying this the whole time.
You can even do the top 5. You can do the whole goddamn division in a mini tournament, and it would make complete sense because it's exclude obviously Nina Ansaroff, Tatiana Suarez. We don't know what's going on with her. Everybody else is active.
Yep. Very true. Very true. Yeah, I know there's so many directions, but it's like, yeah, we need to get that sorting out there. An interesting point here by Stamina, I would say.
The case for Esparza getting a title shot is a sandcastle in high tide. It's not realistic to always be able to fight up. Esparza needs a credible win urgently because nobody believes in her wins. Right. I mean, I get it. I totally get it. I understand. But she shouldn't take that fight. It's a bad fight for her.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand the argument he's making here. You know, I mean, it was obviously the Marina win last time out.
Yeah.
That was, fairly clear. And then before that, the Waterson one was, I mean, I thought she won that one too, but like, obviously it wasn't crazy. Obviously people had their feeling against, okay, now that he mentions it and I look at all of these, I guess, there's a lot of ways you can claim, but, like it goes all the way back to Jandiroba's where they started. And I thought that I could understand Jandiroba getting the win there, but, and then Grasso, I mean, yeah, I totally get what he's saying. And if Carla can, decisively, let's say she finished Rebus on the ground, that would be really big in fan perception just because she's the next big thing right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I get that. But at the same time, it's like she still has gotten the win in 4 straight fights against, top people. So,
yep, including Michelle Waterson.
Yeah, so it's interesting. It's very interesting. But also, I don't think it means much. But at the Dana's last post-fight presser, he said he didn't think that this was official yet. But that he kind of just says that sometimes after news breaks. And I trust MMA fighting.
Trust MMA fighting. Yeah, Mike Heck for sure.
Yeah, and Guilherme.
And Guilherme. Oh yeah, for sure. I trust that. I trust that more than I trust Dana White's word.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Okay, so we're getting onto a big one. This was just broke yesterday by Amy Kaplan from Fansided. Featherweight, Bellator featherweight title fight. Chris Cyborg is taking on Arlene Blanco. We don't know when, I guess, right?
Yeah, I'm sure they'll tell us
tomorrow
or Saturday.
Yeah, we don't know anything. Yeah. Good fight. I mean,
it's
Blanco. Yeah, Blanco totally deserves it. She's on a 3-fight win streak in a really thin division.
Yep. It is. It was absolutely the fight to make. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. I'm happy that they did do this rather than. I mean, I don't know what else they could have done with.
Well, they could have ran the Julia Butt fight again.
They could have done that one, but I felt like there wasn't a good chance of that. If anything, it would have been Kat, but they already booked Kat, and she's obviously fighting tomorrow. So yeah, I mean, and Blanco is obviously the number 1 contender. So, and it's crazy, dude. You don't realize, like, well, okay. So I think I was talking to Moni about this on Twitter, but they didn't do Arlene any favors in like build up or kind of getting the hype around her by putting her she's on a 3-fight winning streak right now. And those first 2 wins against Amber Leibrock and Amanda Bell too,
she ended it. Yeah.
Incredible finishes, like awesome.
The Leibrock one, that Leibrock one was.
We were there for that one.
Beautiful. Oh man. Yeah, we were there. You're right. We were there for that one.
And,
man. Such a beautiful win for her.
Yeah. The problem was though, they put both of those fights on the prelims. Like,
yeah,
man, that really hurts, the build up there. And then obviously her last fight was against Leslie Smith and she looked great there, but not a finish. So no spectacular highlights in comparison to that one, but still a very, very good showing for her. And that one was on the main card, thankfully. So yeah, I think that's kind of why. Like, there was that poll that they did, which was a silly poll in the first place. But I know you saw that too,
Yeah,
where like
stupid.
nobody really voted for her when she's clearly the number one contender. But it's because Bellator's not done a very good job of
Right.
getting her out there.
And
But dude, she is, what is it here, 7-2 in her last 9 since like 2015, and those 2 losses were to Julia Budd, which a lot of people think she won both of those fights. I don't agree so much on the first one,
I
but
think the second one,
second one, yeah,
yeah, I think the second one she probably won. The first one she didn't.
yeah. But either way, like that's the only person she's lost to in the last 9 fights. It's,
Nice.
I mean, come on, and then this win streak here. I think it's good. I think it's a very
It's a
it's
fun
good to
fight.
see. Yeah. I don't think she's going to be afraid of Cyborg either, which is always good. If you're going to fight Cyborg, I don't think, and she's not a reckless, fighter either. Like if you look at before Cyborg got to the UFC and like her Invicta run specifically, the fighters that she fought, they were either really scared, rightfully so, or they just kind of said fuck it and they went after her and they got obliterated. Where I don't think we're going to see Arlene do either of those things. She's going to be really calculated
She's
and
smart.
calm. She's already had, a title shot before. I think that'll take a little bit off of, and went 5 rounds in that too, so that'll take some of that pressure off that she might. And of course,
Yeah.
it's still the Cyborg effect, so that could play a part. But I mean, she's been around for a good while too, so I think she's experienced enough and enough of a veteran to really be able to fight her best fight, even if she loses. I think she should impress, some people out there, or most fans who, don't really, know who she is still, which is unfortunate.
It's a bummer. But that's what happens a lot of the times with Bellator is they put on these fighters that should be, closer to television, and they're at the bottom of a prelim card that nobody watches.
Yeah.
Nobody watches Bellator prelims. It's not like the UFC.
I mean, they might be more now that they're doing YouTube. I like that because at first they never used to. They put them on their website, didn't they? Or at least before the pandemic.
Right.
So I think the YouTube's a better route. So
YouTube's definitely a better route, but I mean, there's so many fighters on the Bellator in Bellator that they just need to market them, and they'll catch on. Blanco's one of them.
yeah, yeah. Like it's a kind of a little bit of investing in the wrong people. As much as I love Bellator, I'm gonna be honest. Still, I love everybody there and everything.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah.
the investments have been in kind of awkward places.
Well,
Because like I said,
they're going to the people who already have a name in MMA.
yeah.
I mean, they're marketing MVP. Like people already have their opinion on MVP.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's sad though because you think about like if they were to really put something behind Arlene, who has been a top featherweight for years now, like this 5-year run that I was just talking about, like it would get people really hyped for this. And it's a good point here that Life After Death mentions.
This is the type of fight where everyone will write off Arlene, but could be a great upset. Yeah, I mean, exactly. That's exactly why Bellator needs to fucking put some video packages together of Arlene and shove it down MMA fans' throats and just freaking get them, let them see who Arlene Blanco is and what she has done. Literally, her last 3 fights were really fucking good. 2 of them, like what we talked about, came with fantastic finishes. That one against Amber Leibrock was amazing.
That slam was so loud, dude.
Yes, it shook the whole building. Like everybody was like, "Oh," like I mean, Drake and I were both there at that for that event. Everybody was like, "Oh shit!"
I got chills just remembering it.
Yeah, like that was legit.
Yeah, if you guys haven't seen that one, go fucking look at it.
This is exactly the point. Shove her video clips down people's throats. Put them on Twitter. Put them on Instagram. Put them on YouTube. Just shove them down people's throats. Get her face out there. She's fighting Cyborg, for God's sake. Literally one of the best female fighters ever.
What more do you need?
Don't get anything
And her
else.
nickname's Anger Fist. Come on.
It's such a great name.
I will say though, I'm gonna try to interview her before this fight, so you guys can. I'll make it happen for everybody too. Give her some love.
She's cool.
So, all right, now we got our action fucking packed weekend, you guys. 7 fights. This is the most since we've returned with the show.
Yeah, buddy.
So let's get to it.
All right, so tomorrow, Bellator 245. Kat Zingano makes her Bellator debut. She'll be fighting Gabby Holloway. We talked about this earlier, like a month ago when they made this fight.
Yeah.
It's a good fight. I mean, Gabby Holloway, I think she'll be down for a fight. She always is. She's scrappy.
Yeah, obviously hasn't fought in a while too, so I think that will add to the scrappiness, the wildness that we could see. And I was actually a little surprised to see that she didn't look too much bigger than Kat at the weigh-ins today.
No, she didn't.
That was an interesting thing, and of course, though, we have to note that she missed weight by 4 pounds, and so did Amanda Bell. It's funny. So before we get to Bell versus Smith, of course, both of the actual featherweight fighters, like the natural featherweights that have only been at featherweight, they both missed weight for these fights, which is it's just kind of funny. Not surprising that the 2 former bantamweights made it, but just a silly little thing. And what is up, Dave Fretz? He has arrived.
Welcome, Dave.
But yeah, as we were saying, what was it? Was that last week when this was announced, or 2 weeks ago? Whenever.
Yeah.
Whenever we were talking about it, Kat is obviously the more experienced, more skilled fighter. There's no denying that whatsoever. But Gabby is game and a featherweight, a real featherweight. So that's kind of the main thing. And
I mean, that's a good thing because the featherweights need bodies. So, I mean, if Gabby Holloway wins, beats Kat Zingano, all of a sudden, shit. I mean,
back in the mix.
Another fight, she can be fighting for a fucking belt.
Yeah. The stamina here.
I can't believe I'm typing this, but I want Kat to cruise to a win here. I like her a lot, but I am mindful of how much damage she's accrued over the years. Don't want to see her get fucked up in there. Yeah, I mean, I agree. Like she's taken a lot of damage. That Megan Anderson toe thing just really fucked her up, man. And I mean, obviously it wasn't Megan's fault. Y'all can shut the fuck up about it. Finally, just shut the fuck up about it. It wasn't Megan's fault. It's not like she had claws. I mean, it happens in fights. Just shut the fuck up. Yeah, Zingano, obviously her eye got fucked up. I mean, she got poked in the eye by a toe. Like, it's crazy. That's just a wild ass injury to receive and fight, but it happened.
Yeah, it's still crazy to think that actually did happen, and God, I can't even fucking imagine that.
It's wild.
Just brutal, but yeah, thankfully, she's all okay now, and of course that was kind of a rough recovery. I remember thinking back to it now, like it took her a while before she could even do like any physical type of activities. But yeah, man. So with this fight, it's just, I think it'll be a matter of, in the past, she's kind of been a slow starter in certain situations. Like you look at, well, obviously the Ronda fight, she tried to not be a slow starter, and that didn't pay off for her. And then, there was some in the Misha fight. I don't remember if it was, she started pretty quickly there. There's kind of some certain situations that she's in where she'll kind of just like bull rush people to start things out. And then other times, kind of waits around. Maybe like the Amanda Nunes fight is obviously the best example, but she was able to, rally in that one. And then you look at, of course, the losing streak that she went on where it was, who was it? I don't have a record up here, but there was the Juliana Pena loss, of course.
Yeah.
And I don't remember the other ones that were kind of sandwiching that one, but either way, she should be able to beat Gabby, assuming that she can handle the size and all that pretty well,
Yeah, you would think that
and
she
the
had.
power. So
Okay, can you put Stamina's comment up for me?
yes.
Okay, got a token Anderson cheerleader here. I see what this is. No, not exactly a
That's
token.
me actually.
Token. Exactly. You got the wrong guy, buddy. You got the wrong guy. I'm just saying what it fucking is. She got a ton of hate for that like freak fucking accident. Like you just don't see that shit happen. You don't see it happen. And Megan feels bad. Like she said she felt bad about it. Like it just doesn't fucking happen in fight.
I mean, that's literally the only time I've ever seen it. So
right. Unfortunately, it happened to Kat Zingano, and unfortunately, it was Token Anderson.
God. All right, so I'm gonna say I'm gonna believe in Kat. I'm gonna go with the Kat. Second round TKO. I'm thinking ground and pound. I'm gonna be faithful in her. So that's my pick.
I mean, you'd be stupid not to pick Kat Zingano at this point. Like Gabby Holloway hasn't fought in like 5 years or something like that.
Yeah, well, it's been a while. I think 4 maybe, but
yeah. So I mean, Kat Zingano should win this. I mean, it should be an easy fight for her too. It's a welcome party for her. Welcome to Bellator.
Welcome with the Gabinator. All right.
Okay, so the next day, right?
No,
Saturday.
This is on the same card. Same card.
Oh, the same card. Okay. Yeah. Leslie Smith is taking on Amanda Bell. That's right. We saw them when Bell missed weight.
Yep. And fun facts, Amanda Bell is actually a bouncer at a Portland nightclub that I like to enjoy when we're not in a pandemic. So see her there from time to time. She's a cool lady, but missed weight for this fight. I don't know if she'd want me putting that out there, but it's too late. I didn't say the name of the place, so there's that. But this fight, though, is pretty interesting, because you look at Amanda Bell's last fight, Janae Harding, that fight was really just momentum, flip-flopping all over the place. Janae got a 10-8, she got a 10-8, and then she finished it.
Yeah.
That was a super ridiculous fight all over the place. And just kind of shows the durability that she has sometimes. Like, it's really weird with Amanda Bell. She's been knocked out plenty of times, well, I guess 2 technically. I thought it was more than that for some reason, but I don't think that Leslie Smith is going to have enough power, because the people she did get knocked out against were Megan and then Amber Leibrock, who were both, natural featherweights again, and 2 of the, bigger, lankier featherweights you can find.
Yeah.
And Amanda Bell here, obviously, is shorter than Leslie Smith, which is kind of a funny thing, but she's definitely got that frame, that featherweight frame, and missed weight by, was it 3 pounds, and Leslie was not too happy with that, and no, that's fair. It's definitely fair. But in terms of who, cleaner, crisper striker, that's Leslie Smith. I think there's no doubt about that. But if Amanda can, it's pretty much a similar situation to the other fight. Like, Leslie is, got more skills. We've seen her do better against, more experienced opponents, all that kind of thing. It's just a matter of if she can avoid getting bullied and not hurt by the power that these actual featherweights have. Like, and I mean, Leslie's super tough anyway, so I kind of have more faith here than maybe in her lasting than maybe Kat, because, we've seen Kat kind of get hurt a little bit. Of course, she hasn't been knocked out either, but going against, this is her second featherweight fight for Kat, but then for Leslie here, I think she's had more experience against these bigger gals. But again, Leslie's the more skilled fighter, so Leslie Smith by unanimous decision.
Yeah, I mean, I would think that Leslie Smith wins this fight. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Bell won, but
yeah,
Leslie Smith is, she's the more well-rounded fighter of the 2. Bell could end up clipping her. I don't see Smith knocking out Bell, though.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm with you on Leslie Smith unanimous decision.
Yeah, and as we move on here to the next day, I will say though, I think that if somebody gets a finish, it would be like Amanda Bell, like ground and pound or something, or if
Right. It would be an Amanda Bell
good enough,
finish
but
for sure.
yeah.
Okay, so
exactly.
Liz Carmouche is taking on Deanna Bennett, and both of their Bellator debuts, and this is the main event. For
No,
Bellator.
this is that's the mix in Archuleta.
Oh,
I
yeah.
heard.
That's right. Yeah.
Carmouche's original debut was supposed to be main event, though.
I think that's probably what I was thinking of. Her original debut was the main event, but it's not. You would think that Liz Carmouche takes this easily, but Deanna Bennett is tough.
It's never easy with Deanna. It's never easy.
Deanna. Yeah.
They're both pretty similar styled too. Grinds you out, beat you up kind of fighters. I think that Liz, a better striker, but she doesn't really care to strike too much. This should pretty much be a wrestling match, really. I mean, and I'll be interested to see it because Deanna's never really. I don't know if she's fought somebody this same caliber of just how aggressive that Liz can be with her grappling. I mean, she's fought a lot of people, obviously, as I'm looking at her record here, and 2-fight losing streak, Miranda, Maverick in the last one. So I mean, hey, another shout out to Maverick. The thing is here too is I think that Deanna's kind of on the backslide of her career, sort of. But maybe looking to have a resurgence in Bellator. But I mean, a very tough first opponent to try to do that against, and snap that 2-fight skid. So yeah, it'll be interesting. And surprisingly, it's been over a year since Liz's last fight, which was the Valentina title fight. I just think she's feeling so good and motivated to be in like this new setting and everything, much more than when you look at situationally for both of them. Deanna's kind of like in that spot where it's like, all right, sweet, I get to go do this now, but she didn't really have any issues with Invicta or anything like that. But Liz Carmouche was such a surprise cut, and she should still be in the UFC. Kind of just a crazy thing there.
And the way that she got cut when she was out doing some stuff for the troops, and then she found out like freaking in the middle of doing some marketing stuff for the UFC. Like wild.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm dying here at both of Stamina's comments.
Christ, this will be the worst WMMA fight in recorded history.
This one.
2 escapees from Doctor Strange's wardrobe, blankets of death, the pair of them.
Oh my god! I mean,
Doctor Strange.
You're not wrong, man.
I love the Doctor Strange.
It's yeah, it should be a very wrestling heavy fight. Cage wars.
It will be. Carmouche is just gonna fucking land on top of Deanna Bennett.
Yeah. So I mean, this is kind of a case where very similar fighters, but in this case though, there's one in terms of how they fight, very similar fighters, but one of them's obviously better than the other one. So that's Liz Carmouche.
Yeah. 100% Liz Carmouche is the better fighter.
Yeah, I could even see. I'm going to say a late submission, round 3. I'm going to say round 3 sub for Carmouche.
You would think that it's going to end in a submission. I don't think it is. I think Deanna Bennett's fucking I
have a feeling she'll get caught.
She's just incredibly hard to finish.
Yeah.
Again, she's like a cockroach. I said it about Betch Crea. Deanna Bennett's kind of like a cockroach. She just keeps showing up, and she doesn't fucking leave. And she doesn't lose, and she just, she's a grinder.
We like Deanna better, though.
I like Deanna Bennett a lot. I like her a lot. I don't like Betch Crea. So Deanna Bennett's one of the good cockroaches. Betch Crea is one of the shitty cockroaches.
This is what we have come to, everybody. But of course, we are agreeing on all 3 of the Bellator fights this weekend. And I'm excited to see all of them because they're literally I guess not the Smith and Bell. I was gonna say they're all debuts for somebody, but they're all new and fresh. So I'm looking forward
to the main event, Patchy Mix.
Yeah, that's the fight of the weekend, really.
Dude, I love that fight. Oh, I love that fight. Patchy Mix is a bad motherfucker.
He is very legit. And then Archuleta, though, that's a tough guy to.
Yeah, Archuleta is really, really good. I mean, I like Archuleta a lot, but I like Patchy Mix a lot more.
It's gonna be good. But then we got four on the UFC card this week.
4 wild and a freaking main event, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. All right, Sabina Mazo time. Love it. Sabina Mazo returns against Justine Kish. I think Sabina Mazo just ends this fight. Somehow her Muay Thai is gonna come out and she's gonna end the fight. Just show that monster that you got in there, Sabina. Show that monster. Let it out. Let that monster out, Sabina.
We're waiting for that. And I mean,
so
the thing is,
just show it. Show us.
Yeah. And I mean, she did look good, in her last. I don't remember which one exactly was the last one because she had the Aldrich fight, right? I don't have a record up here. I need to start pulling the records up all the time, but yeah. Waiting for those highlights to come back. Obviously, she's a very good striker, of course, and so is Justine Kish. I feel like we haven't seen Justine in quite a long time, but obviously she is. I was talking about people on the backside of their career, even though she, doesn't have a whole lot of fights on her record. She has been fighting for a while, and her background in kickboxing and all that she had going into The Ultimate Fighter was something they really highlighted there, and it makes you wonder like how far she could have went in The Ultimate Fighter because she got taken out by injury. But this was like 6 years ago now. When you think back to Tough 20, which is crazy that Tough 20 was that long ago, dude. Super crazy that it was so long ago. And yeah, now she's taking on somebody who's
friends.
About around there.
I think so, yeah.
And she obviously former strawweight if she was on Tough 20, but all was was like she was one of those fighters when Fly was made that we were like, all right, that's somebody who will be benefiting from being able to go up and not have to kill themselves to make strawweight because man, she looks fucking rough at strawweight a lot of times, just really depleting herself. And Sabina is gonna have she has all of the statistic advantages here, which I think that'll probably be a big factor. If she can utilize the range and keep distance and hit combinations in tight.
Just to let him go. Just let him go.
Let it fly. Let it fly.
Yeah, man. Just let those elbows go in the clinch and get her up against the cage and put fucking hell on this girl.
Colombian queen. I think we'll see some blood in this one. I'm excited to see the clinch exchanges because
there will be blood. There will be blood in this fight. Sabina Mazo will give us blood.
So I could see this going either way. Obviously, experience in favor of Kish, but I think Mazo, she's kind of gotten comfortable since getting in the UFC now. So, I think she'll be able to get it done, and I think this will be a unanimous. I'll give her unanimous here. So
I think Sabina Mazo gets it done. I mean, I think this is finally the breakout for her where she just shows she's legit, and she lets her fists fly and she connects with the elbows and she'll finish the fight. I think probably in the second round, third round.
There you have it. And then this fight, though, dude, we got something better than what we were supposed to get. I'm so happy that this happened.
Yeah, wild actually how this turned out. So Sijara Eubanks is taking on Julia Avila. This is not an easy fight for either girl. If you guys tune in, I mean, a lot of y'all tune in regularly and you're in the comments and stuff. And thank you for showing up on a weekly basis with us, no matter what day we come on. Thank you. We appreciate it. But Sijara Eubanks, I'm high on her, incredibly high on her. You can go back to pretty much every time that we talk about her, I like the girl. I like the way that she fights. She's an incredible striker. Julia Avila is tough as fuck. Tough as fuck. This is a tough fight for Eubanks, but it's also a tough fight for Avila. I love this fight.
Oh man, I know how everything played out. The results are better than better than what was supposed to happen. I love it, man. And you're very high on Sajara. I've been high on the Raging Panda for years now. So this is excellent. I think this has fight of the night potential written all over it.
Fireworks.
Man, it's gonna be a fun one. Also very similar, kind of fighters as well as. What was the matchup what I was talking? Which one was it that we were just talking? Carmouche and Bennett, except a lot more excitement potential to come out of it. Man, it's pretty much we're gonna see how somebody like Sajara how she can deal with that just relentlessness that Avila brings. That rage.
Grinding. Yeah, she's a grinder.
So, yeah, man. I mean, it's tough. Because Sarge is obviously a very tough and durable opponent. So, and we've seen Avila is she's nonstop, man.
Crazy. I love this fight.
It is good. It is good. And, I can't not go against Avila until I see her have some real trouble. I mean, this is definitely the one that could do that. And it'll teach us a lot about, both of them, I think. See where they're standing exactly. More Avila than Eubanks. We've seen more Eubanks than what she's capable of. But and how Avila potentially can deal with her grappling, the submission game that Eubanks presents on the ground. And then just on the feet, though, I think we're just going to see bombs aplenty.
From both. They're both just going to throw hands. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be a beautiful fight. Okay, so Dave said this will be a fun, strategic fight. Game plan is going to win this fight, a team effort. Absolutely. And then Stamina said the most interesting fight that night for me, and I think for Drake and I as well, Avila versus Eubanks, this could tell us a lot about both women, I feel. Absolutely. This can tell us, can Sajara actually be a contender, because Julia Avila is already she's a beast. People know Julia Avila already. Not a lot of people pay attention to Sajara Eubanks for whatever reason. I it's probably her attitude sometimes, but what fighter doesn't have a fucking attitude? Look, fighters have attitudes no matter what.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah. I mean, they're fighters, for fuck's sake. What do you want them to be? You want them to be fucking saints? They're fighting. They're fucking throwing fists. They're trying to beat the shit out of the person standing in front of them. You want to see a saint? Go to fucking the Vatican.
There's the quote of the episode. Oh, we need to get that on a t-shirt or something. That's good. Dave, make some art for that one. Like some Steve art. Oh my god, I love that. But yeah, man, I'm really excited for this one, and I just really think it'll come down to, fuck, man, we haven't seen, Avila. She's put on, that just aggressive, heavy pressure game plan in your face, smack you around, take you down if she has to, but just against the fence. She'll get you against the fence and beat the shit out of you. That's like been the MO, right? That's of her career, and we've never, as long as it's gone, like we've seen her do that for full 3 rounds. The panty fight, it wasn't really like that the whole time, but we've never seen Julia Avila have problems with her gas tank or anything. Sajara, that's kind of,
she's kind of gassed out. That happened. What fight was it? Was it in the tough fight?
Yeah, yep. I remember which one.
Yeah, it was in one of the tough fights. I can't remember against who. She kind of gassed, but I mean, it's been quite a while.
And
now.
Flyweight too, yeah.
And Sajara she's a legit fighter in the bantamweight division. She's legit. She's legit as fuck. Julia Avila is obviously a monster.
The future.
Yeah, she's obviously a monster. This is just a really good fight, man. We have 4 really good fights this week.
But in the end, yeah, like I said, until I see somebody really give Avila a problem, and
Yeah,
it's hard for me to go against her. So I think,
yeah, I see why. I see why. I mean, yeah, I would probably pick Avila as well. But I mean, if Eubanks wins, then I'm not going to be like, oh shit, I'm
yeah,
shocked. I'm not.
yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked at all if Cesar Eubanks wins either by a decision or by a finish. Same for Avila.
Yeah, I think that this can look fairly similar to Eubanks versus Lad 2, that amazing fight we were talking about last week. Kind of forgot how good that fight was, except Avila, I think, will have more success on the feet than Lad did in that one, because, Eubanks was beating her up pretty good on the feet in that one. It just came down to the takedown defense wasn't there for Eubanks that time around. So if it looks like that and Avila, still gets takedowns every now and then, be in her favor. And I just think that her pressure, if we're gonna assume, like, I think that Eubanks has probably cleaned up her, sure, closed that hole, that gap in the gas tank from what we used to see, like I was saying. But just because of how Avila fights, I think it might tire her out a bit more than, what we've seen in recent fights. So I think that's kind of the X factor, and I think Avila will wear her down enough where she can get a late TKO. So yeah, that's third round TKO. Avila is my pick there.
I mean, honestly, I can see it going either way. This is one of those fights where I can see either of them getting the finish. I would probably lean Avila right now, but I mean, I'm high on Eubanks. I always have been. Yeah,
just know it's gonna be good.
I think Avila probably wins. I don't know if she gets the finish. I'll go unanimous decision because I don't want to pick either of them to get the finish, because I think they're both fully capable. I just don't think it will come. We'll go Julia Avila, unanimous decision.
All right. And now, rematch time.
Yeah, Roxanne Modafferi is taking on Andrea Lee for the second time. It's a really good fight. I like this fight. For the second time.
Yes. There it is. Yeah, so Modafferi, Lee 2. Man, very, I don't 7 years ago? I'm trying to remember exactly how long ago this fight was, but obviously the first one was not too recent, and Roxy, it was too much too soon for Andrea Lee at the time, but now, the tide has turned a little bit. I mean, that's not the right phrase to use. Andrea Lee has gotten a lot better, more experienced, of course. And Roxy, I'm not so sure about her. This is going to tell us a lot about Roxy, I think, because I've been saying since that Murphy loss, I don't know if she can hang with the top, flyweights anymore, and Lee is definitely one of those. So if she can be competitive here and, make it close at the very least, let alone win, I think that will prove that, Roxy still has some left in the tank. But man, I don't know. I just feel like she's just kind of plateauing again, because we know that she had one of the best career comebacks, that we've ever seen in the sport. Really, if you look at, she used to be just terrible, man, and she admitted it. She was on like a 6-fight losing streak at one point, was just losing badly, and then turned things around incredibly by going down to flyweight and eventually, fighting for the title in Invicta. Just madness, what she's been able to do and turn around. But we've kind of seen her hit that point again. We're like, okay, people have kind of figured out her weird goodness at this point, if that makes sense. And Andrea Lee, she's very hungry to get back in the win column after, that questionable Murphy loss as well. So yeah, it's interesting. I think that Andrea Lee's, her takedown defense, obviously that was a big issue for her earlier in her career. But since getting to the UFC and everything, and just really since those early losses, to, what was it, Dale Elio, and then obviously Roxy, which were, ground and pound and, submission losses, her takedown defense has gotten a lot better. So, man, I think that she will be able to keep Roxy off of her, then have her way on the feet for the most part, man. I think that we'll see KGB just, do her thing en route to a decision. I think Roxy, she's just she'll survive because she's just Roxy and super tough. But
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
that's my pick.
I'm not with you. I think that Andrea Lee gets a finish. Unfortunately, like I hate saying that about Roxy, but man, Andrea Lee, she has all of the striking that you can welcome and want to watch. She's a monster when she gets her opponents in the clinch. Her Muay Thai is fabulous. I think that she'll eventually get Roxy in the Muay Thai and she'll finish the fight.
Yeah,
Probably
I can
round
see that too. I mean,
round 3.
yeah, yeah. You know, it always sucks to say that kind of stuff against Roxy, but it's just that the trajectory things have been leaning. So, and
Right. That's exactly what it is. I mean, she's just kind of evaporating, like Stamina says, struggling to muster much enthusiasm for this pairing. It feels inconsequential to me. Roxy was the breakout sleeper star of 125 for a while, and all her momentum just evaporated. Yeah, I think she's just that lovable nerd who the game kind of flipped on her. She's old school MMA. The game flipped on her, and Andrea Lee is the new type of MMA fighter.
I would have to look this up too. I don't know how accurate it is, but off the top of my head, I'm pretty sure that Roxy has done really badly in rematches, if not lost them all. I mean, I mean, obviously there was. Well, okay, man, that's wrong. That's wrong because I just remember the Barb one because she lost to Barb and then she beat Barb very badly in the rematch. But then the Maya rematch, she lost that one.
Right.
It's really like extreme up in the airs, That's kind of the point I'm getting at here. So I guess we will see which way that goes this time. But it's just, I'm curious what the odds will be for this too. But yeah, I think it's Andrea's fight to lose. So yeah, on to the main event though. The main event now.
So this is a big one for women's MMA. And for Angela Hill, she's obviously a black woman. This is the first ever black woman to headline a UFC main event. This is big. It's a big fight. Michelle Waterson is a mom. Angela Hill is a black woman, so it's a big fight for reasons outside of MMA, but also because of their talent. It's a really good fight, I think. A lot of people are shitting on this fight. Of course, yeah, sure. We all want Thiago Moreta. We all want Moreta. Yeah, I fucking want Moreta, but shit happens. And Michelle Waterson, Angela Hill, they got bumped up to the main event. It's not the worst thing in the world. Remember, we just saw Jessica Ai and Cynthia Calvillo main event a UFC card, and that was booked as the main event. This is a better fight. This will be a better fight than that.
And the funny thing is, too, like the point I was making after this happened was like, I think that it's actually a better fight now that it's 5 rounds. Because like initially, I was like kind of like, whatever, it should be all right. But the additional 2 rounds, I think, makes it a lot more interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at the history.
They both have the tank to go 5 rounds.
Yes.
They're not.
Yes.
They're not.
They both have in the past too.
Yeah, they're not Zabit Magomed Sharapov. He can't go 5 rounds, but these 2 women can.
Yeah. Yeah, former Invicta champs, both have, gone the distance before. Actually, I don't know if Waterson has gone the 5 before, but she's been in championship rounds. The Penne fight, for my money, the greatest women's fight of all time. If you haven't seen that, you got to watch that when she won the atomweight title. And then Angela Hill, when she won the title against Livia Hinata Souza, who, we always talk up seemingly every week. That's when she won the title. That was full 5. That is also one of the greatest fights of all time. It's in top 10, I would say. Shameless plug. Go check out my top 20 the greatest women's fights of all time if you haven't. It is on there. I won't spoil what it is for you. I already spoiled the other one. But yes, the fact that both of these women have that experience already, and then just being in the main event, a UFC main event for Angela Hill, I mean, she's motivated just by any fucking fight in general. So
dude, she's the Cowboy Cerrone of the women's division. She don't give a fuck who she fights, when she fights. She doesn't give any fucks about shit. She just wants to fucking fight, and she finds every kind of motivation that there is. It was fucking hilarious. She's clowning on Michelle Waterson on like Instagram or something like that, because Waterson said something about or Dana White had a video up and Waterson replied something like Trump or whatever, and then Angela Hill came back. Like, dude, she is everywhere. Angela Hill is everywhere. It's fucking awesome. I love this girl.
I think it's interesting too how it seems like they're kind of doing more promotion on Hill than Waterson. Because usually in the past, they've done it the other way around.
Yeah, good. Because Angela Hill fucking deserves it. Michelle Waterson has had her limelight in the UFC. She's had big fights. This is Angela Hill's big fight, finally.
Yep. Very well said.
All right, Stamina said, man, if Hill can't make Waterson fight, nobody can. If we get 25 minutes of Jackson Wink airballs in an already not so anticipated main event, it'll set WMMA back a great deal in public perception. I mean, I would hate for that to happen. I don't think so, because Angela Hill she brings out the fight in everybody. And if Waterson doesn't want to fucking fight, Angela Hill's gonna go fight her. She's gonna find a way to go attack, and put her paws on her.
That's the thing is, like, okay, I think that people are really kind of remembering, obviously, Esparza versus Waterson, which, admittedly was not a very good fight, and, that was mostly a stand-up affair from what I remember. I mean, there was obviously, Carla did get her down at certain points and everything, but there was a lot of not so exciting striking exchanges or just, stand-up moments. And, I mean, that was Carla Esparza, though, who's not, some crazy striker. She's a grappler.
Yep.
But Angela Hill is going to bring, she's going to go after Waterson and, try and land combos, do what she does out there. And I think that will, if that doesn't initiate or start any engagements of, back and forth striking, affairs, whatever you want to call them, that it'll lead to Waterson, trying to take her down, which is probably the smartest idea anyways, because she's superior there. I think that's fair to say. Her best path to victory. And then that'll happen, and if she could get a quick submission and spoil the party, and everyone's like, well, that still sucked because it was just a fast submission. So we will see, but I have a feeling that it will be, we're going to see Hill go after her, and then it's just a matter of Waterson wanting to strike it out, or I think we're more likely to see her, close the distance by grabbing a hold of her, and then it'll just be a matter of Hill can avoid that, because I don't think she usually ever wants to go to the ground anyways. But her grappling has improved a lot over the years, but it's obviously not where she's most comfortable. So we will see. But in the end, man, because of that, because Karate Hottie, her grappling, I don't think it gets as much love as it should. It's kind of weird with her these days. But I think she will get her down eventually, and there's 5 rounds to play with now, so I think she'll find a submission at some point. I can't see Hill knocking out Waterson necessarily. I mean, I could see it, but I don't feel it's super likely. But yeah, I'm gonna say Waterson with a third round submission.
Yeah. So Stamina said Hill has put the work in these last 12 months. I'm not a fan, but I respect the hell out of the hustle. Waterson had her Fight Mom documentary and glossy magazine cover. Hill gets the shine this time. It's about fucking time, man. Dave said Hill gets better every time out, every time. Yeah, I mean, she does. Like, it's amazing what Angela Hill has become in the UFC. It's fucking, she's really turned her shit around. And I mean, she's out there doing commentary now. So it's about fucking time that these ladies get the love that they deserve.
Yep, you love to see it, even though it wasn't the plan.
I mean, it is what it is at this point. I mean, fights are getting canceled all the time. Like literally last week, they lost 3 fights in 24 hours.
Jeez, yeah, that was insane.
I mean, are we going to see that again this week? I hope not. I mean, you would hope not, but at this point, any fight, I'll take any fight at this point. Like it's not, we're not in January of this year, February, March of this year, where fights were being booked for reason. We're getting fights because fights need to be made, and fighters are taking fights. So honestly, I'll take a fight, whoever, whenever, however, wherever. It doesn't even matter. I'll take any fight. I'll watch any fights. It doesn't matter at this point. I'm just not during the COVID era of matchmaking and stuff. It's really hard for me to shit on matchmaking.
Yeah, I know. I still find a way, but I loosen up pretty quicker than I would normally. So there's that. So, did you make your pick in that?
Dave said, exciting fighter, great trash talker, fun character, easy to promote. Absolutely, she's so much fun. And I can see why people don't like her. I see it, but if you don't like her, she's a heel. If you like her, then she's a favorite. She doesn't give a fuck either way. She'll take whatever. That's who she is. That's her personality.
Yep. You're totally right. You're totally right there. Okay. Did you make your pick? I don't know if I missed it there.
No, probably not. But I'm going Angela Hill. I think that she'll probably go decision.
I can see that. I can see it too, man. That's the thing. Like the extra 2 rounds really adds a different dynamic to it, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
So we're split on only the last one.
Yeah, only the main event.
Man, just a loaded weekend here for us.
7 fights. Amazing.
Madness. It is madness.
Love it. Love it.
Wonderful.
All right, what do you got going on this week? Talk to us about
I got going on?
Your Ryzen thing.
Oh, my other new show. Yes. Broadened Horizon, everybody. If you haven't seen it yet, check it out. It is on mymmanews.com. It is on my YouTube channel, Drake Riggs. It is on the Loudmouth MMA Podcast Network now, so you can listen audio only on SoundCloud, as well as my MMA News' SoundCloud. So it is all over the place. Episode 1, stacked lineup. I had on with me, I had Kai Asakura, the Ryzen Bantamweight champion. The GOAT, Megumi Fuji. I had the Atomweight GOAT, Ayaka Hamasaki, Mizuki Inoue's brother. I had Naoki Inoue, rising bantamweight prospect. It was a really good show, great lineup. Excited to do the next one. Hope you guys liked it. Thank you, Dave. I know you're still here. I assume you're still here for the great logo. Love that. So,
as usual.
As usual from Dave.
Yep.
So, yes, definitely check that out. I actually have the first guest for episode 2 I'm going to be talking to here momentarily, actually. So that is exciting.
It's a big one.
It's quite a big one. I wanted them for the first episode, but, second time, what is it? Second's the best? Yeah.
It's all right. Whenever.
Yeah, you take it when you can. But either way, we're going to make it happen. Oh, I'm not going to jinx it right now. Hopefully I get canceled. But so that's coming up. Stay tuned for that, you guys. And of course, I have a whole lot of other stuff too. I spoke to Jessie Jess this weekend, so you can look forward to that on Monday. I did a little fun new segment with her as well, so there'll be 2 bits of video from that. I spoke to Cassius Corrigan. Was that yesterday? This week's been so crazy for me. Cassius Corrigan, you don't know who that is. He's the director and star of the upcoming movie Huracan, which actually is going to be premiering tomorrow, Friday, September 11th on HBO and HBO Max. It is a psychological thriller about an MMA fighter with multiple personality disorder. Really crazy idea. I think it sounds amazing, something like that to be made. And Jorge Masvidal is also in it. I almost got an interview with him, but things didn't work out. I was keeping that a secret. Now that it's over, I can let that out. But I almost spoke to Jorge. Maybe still in the future. But yes, that movie is going to be out tomorrow, and so will my interview, because that's all done. So you can catch that in the morning, and then I don't know what time that the movie will be out on, but you can look forward to that too. And of course, I have a bunch of other shit lined up too. So, oh wait, and have you read Becoming Mega Mugu, the Megumi Fuji story yet? You got to check that out if you haven't. Of course.
If you haven't, what the fuck are you doing with your life?
Then what are you doing? Get reading. So yes, plenty of stuff from me. What about you, my man?
Yeah, I mean, nothing really, because I did not book any interviews this week. One fell through. We might actually do it this coming Sunday for MMA Inc. Hopefully we do it. It's a fun one. It's a fighter from the Contender Series of this 3 weeks ago, I think. Hopefully we get it done. Fell through this past Sunday. Other than that, no, not doing shit with my life other than watching the Packers.
Hey, go Pack, go, everybody, go Pack, go.
Baby. If you don't know, Drake and I are both Packer fans. Another reason why we get along so well.
You know it. All right, you guys. Until next time, you can follow us, like, share, subscribe, all that, at DrakeRiggs _ and at SteveK _ MMA.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Stamina. Thank you, Steve, Head Kick Audio. Thank you, missing one.
There was Life After Death was here.
Yusuf didn't show up this week.
No Yusuf today.
Okay.
He probably was like, oh, they're not on Wednesday.
Probably what it was. All right. Until next week.
We'll be back next Wednesday.
Wednesday. Regular bat time, regular bat channel.
Peace.